Monday night, and we are getting ready for a big game in the AFC East. Jets and Bills. Jets 2.5-point underdogs hosting the Bills. Total is 44.5. And we welcome you to our Monday night football, our Monday night fantasy football show here, Fantasy Football Today, with Tara Roberts and Heath Cummings. And welcome, Tara, to our show. How's week one treating you?
Oh, good and bad. Some good, lots of good Tyreek and some bad T. Higgins. But other than that, good.
Very bad. How many do either of you have Puka Nacua in any of your leagues?
No, I don't think I do.
I would have to go search the spreadsheet, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't. Maybe one. Definitely not anywhere close to a starting lineup.
I wonder if he's rostered in any of my leagues. Maybe Scott Fishbowl, I feel like, would be the only one.
He's rostered in all of my Dynasty leagues, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, he might be the number one waiver wire ad. So if you have any questions about anything, whether you're starting someone tonight or you're, looking forward to next week or whatever it is, please fire away. Who's the top waiver wire priority? We got a lot of backfield. We got maybe Austin Eckler out. He's got an ankle injury. We don't know the severity there. We got the Ravens situation. We got the Rams. But Heath, who's the number one waiver wire priority?
I'm still going to say it's Kenneth Gainwell. I'm skeptical that he's going to be that much of a workhorse hog for the entire season, but he's got a pretty good head start and he's on a fantastic offense. And while it's not a great offense for running backs, it's not terrible if you're getting the percentage of touches that he is. So there's lots of other guys that maybe if this injury, maybe if they're the guy, I think right now Kenneth Gainwell is the guy, so he should be the top priority.
What do you think, Tara?
Kenneth Gainwell is in my top 3. My top guy is Puka. I know we're on a timeline in terms of him being the wide receiver 1 for the Rams for when Cooper Kupp comes back. But I feel like when a rookie puts out that immediate production, especially one that we were already looking at as a deep sleeper, somebody who, as he mentioned, we were grabbing in Dynasty, you can't ignore that. It could stick. So I feel like you just have to roster him at this point.
Give me like 15 players you drop for Puka Nacua, or maybe just 2 or 3.
Darius Slayton.
Yeah. Just put on the list.
Campbell.
You know what, Heath? I see
Isaiah Hodgins.
I saw
Hodgins
before we started. Just go.
Tara, I've got a question for you.
Go.
Okay, because I need some help with something. We're going to be answering everybody else's questions for most of the night. But, it's been a long time since you and I have been on a show together, maybe a year. So I don't get this opportunity very often. I've got an uncomfortable situation with a coworker that I work very closely with, who has now called me an idiot moron, a loser, and screamed that they hate me at me. And I just do you have any advice for dealing with a hostile work environment like that?
I do. It sounds like you got to put him on waivers. You can put him, get him back, make a claim later, once he gets back to production.
It's almost 24 hours that Heath has been waiting for this. He probably wasn't even going to be on tonight's show. And then he said, no, you know what?
I love the people that love our show, this community, and the outpouring of support that people sending me like hotlines. It's really, really a lot of kindness. No, everybody, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, I really enjoyed it. I've watched the clip at least 15 times today.
Do we have the clip, Thomas?
I have the clip on my phone.
I can send it to you. Yeah, we can send it to you. Why don't you send it to Thomas? See if we can work it in so Tara can see.
Okay.
The fun. Yeah. We have a lot of injury updates here, but let me get to your questions here. And all right, here we go. Should I drop Tony and Sky Moore for Puka?
Tony for sure. Sky Moore, I'm still holding out hope on, but I feel like you can come back and get Sky Moore later at some point in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I would drop both for Puka, even though I love Sky Moore. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, I would drop Sky Moore, but I would like to hold Tony. So, but agreed on Sky Moore.
Okay. Well, no, you guys were complete opposite there, right?
Well, she said both, I thought.
Yeah, I would drop both.
Yeah. Okay.
Sky Moore hurts me personally more, but
a lot of people coming to my defense today and hating on Heath in the chat. I appreciate that. Just looking for some more questions here. Is Adam on a shaving strike until the Giants can win a game? Listen, if they can't beat the Cardinals, then forget it. Yeah, then we're going to have a very big beard because the schedule gets pretty tough after that. But the Cardinals will start Josh Dobbs in week 2. They have announced, so that's some news. Is Brandon Aiyuk a must start at flex and PPR leagues?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kyron Williams or Puka Nacua, percentage of fab? How much you putting on them?
I would do 20 on Puka. Kyron is a weird one where I feel like I would do 15.
I think that
It's a
10
little
to 20 range is right, depending on your need and which one. Like Puka's over Kyron in a vacuum. But if I've got 5 great receivers and really struggling at running back, the problem is they're playing the 49ers this week. So, like, how much do you want to spend to add them and then sit them on your bench?
It's not, I mean, it's their schedule coming up. I mean, I feel like they have some very tough games, including this week, 49ers. But man, it was really impressive. And Matthew Stafford was just phenomenal in this game. I think that it's an easy call to say add Puka and Kyron Williams to Rams. It's very hard fab, though. The fab decision is very difficult for me. So well, you said 20 for, you said 20 for Puka, and how much did you say for Kyron, Tara?
A max of 15, depending on your running back needs.
I mean, you know, we talked about it on Beyond the Box Score earlier today, but based on yesterday, there's no case that Cam Akers is the number one guy. Now, things can change week to week, but Kyron Williams played twice as many snaps, played, I think, 11 out of 14 third down snaps, or he was 11-3 in favor of him in third down. He almost had a third touchdown. He was a half a yard short from a third touchdown, and then Cam Akers got in a couple of plays later. Do you guys have any doubt that Kyron Williams is the better running back to have for the Rams?
Any doubt? Yes, it's the Rams and a running back. I've got the Cam Akers roller coaster has gone all over the place the last 18 months. So I certainly have doubt, but my expectation is it's going to be Kyron Williams, maybe a 65% confidence.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. I mean, it's weird because we got so much affirmation all off season around Akers, and we knew that Kyron was going to be worked in, and we thought third down work, but that was not just third down work. That was significant. So I feel like with the Rams, it could go back either way. So that's why I'm just a tiny bit skeptical.
And I don't know, honestly, like this was such a weird game. And that's the thing that really throws a wrench in it, because they still, even after talking about this offseason, didn't throw their running backs this week. Like, and so if they're not going to do that, based on what we know about the rest of their team, it's probably not even going to be that attractive of a job. The winner is probably going to turn into a low-end RB2.
All right. Would you trade Cooper Kupp for Jonathan Taylor in non-PPR?
Well, if you went 0 RB, yeah. After Deion Jackson's performance, I feel like they might be able to work something out by week 5.
I would. I don't really like it, but I would. Especially in none.
Would you claim Jeff Wilson after positive injury news, which I don't know exactly. I didn't see that. I know his agent said he'd be back in week 5. Would you claim Jeff Wilson over Gus Edwards, Kyron Williams, Gainwell, Tajay, and Hill? Justice Hill. Who's Hill? Justice Hill.
No, I don't think I would over any of them.
No.
Goff or Love in Superflex is QB2
next week.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Goff, but you should check back later in the week.
So that would be Goff gets Tampa, I think. No,
Goff gets Seattle.
Seattle, sorry.
Yeah, Love has not a good matchup, I don't think.
At Atlanta.
Who knows? Who knows what that is?
I would lean Love, but Goff is the safer option. We still need to know if Love's actually going to be a sticky. So if you need to go safe, then yeah. But if you want the upside, I'm going to go with Love.
So look at this. This is an interesting question, right? Like, do you drop a handcuff, a high-end handcuff, right? We think Mitchell would be pretty good if McCaffrey got hurt. Would you drop a high-end handcuff for Kyron Williams?
If he's my third running back, yes. that make sense?
No. What do you mean?
If he's my fourth or fifth running back, probably not. But if he's my third running back right now, probably yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Tara, you can tell me who is in the wrong from last night's show. Let's go ahead and roll the tape.
Are you thinking gross or net?
No, enough. We have to.
He's got 0 gross, negative 19 net.
Oh,
Have you been watching the game? You think it's his fault? He's been on his ass the entire game. They're crushing him. Give me a break, loser. All right.
Oh my god.
Sorry. I was too harsh.
This was a window.
What do you think, Tara? I apologized.
So for context, it's about Justin Fields.
No, it's about Daniel Jones.
It was about Daniel. Oh, okay. Because I saw the little headline there. No, if it was about Daniel Jones, I will excuse you because that might have hit at the core a little bit, right?
In the middle of the debacle.
I understand you excusing him, and I think that's fine. Like, we should all forgive. I've forgiven Adam, but I do think that, like, in terms of who was right or wrong, that one of us at the end of the video is saying, "I'm sorry, I went too far." So I think that's probably the guy who was wrong.
For the record, I was apologizing to the listeners, not and yes, he was pressing those buttons. He's very good at that. I've got Tua and Tyreek. Should I trade away Richardson or wait?
Oh, I would wait.
What can you get for him?
Yeah. Do you think this is the right time to trade Richardson?
I think he's probably going to be a low-end QB1 the rest of the year, and that's kind of what he was in week 1. So if I can get more than that, then I'll trade him. But I don't think. I mean, it just depends. Is that guy in your league that will buy in?
Drop-o-meter on Bateman, Tony, Beckham, and London in a standard scoring 10-team league.
So I have not been on the OBJ side. I mean, he's someone that I think you can, probably, pick up, fill in, flex, bye weeks and stuff, but I don't think he's going to be the target hog within that offense. So that is the one that I would be dropping.
Yeah. If I was putting a number to these guys, I think I'd put Beckham at an 8, Bateman at a 6, London at a 5, or Tony to 5, and London at like a 1.
Yeah.
If you want to be optimistic about Kadarius Toney,
right?
He ran 11 routes and got 5 targets. That's exceptional. So he was targeted. And remember, he missed all of preseason.
That is like the history of Kadarius Toney, also, though.
Yeah, he does.
He's been wide receiver 1 2 years in a row in yards per route run under 50 routes run sample size.
So,
joke, but
yeah, no, he does. Yes, he's always good at that. You're right, but he just doesn't run that many routes. He's not on the field that much. But that was at least encouraging. And Andy Reid said that's not him. He's not a guy who drops the ball. So hopefully they'll go back to him. I need 6 points from Breece Hall tonight. Do I win? PPR.
Can you get you 6? Right. You'd be right there.
Yeah. Yes, you win. Congratulations, Tommy.
Would you rather start Burrow or Richardson in week 2? Richardson has the Texans, who might be without Jalen Petrie as starting safety. And Burrow has the Ravens, who are definitely going to be without a starting safety. Ravens had a terrible week with injuries. But who would you rather start, Burrow or Richardson?
Burrow.
Still going Burrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Trade offer. Dobbins, Pierce, Kamara, Gainwell, running back. Okay. Should I trade Romeo Dobbs for Jalen Warren or Javonte Williams?
Javonte quickly.
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay.
Not for Jalen.
Would you pick up Zach Moss or a Ravens running back?
I would do a Ravens running back.
I think I would lean that way unless you have Taylor and you're just trying to cover the next couple of weeks.
Heath is clearly the victim here. Adam clearly has never had an older brother. I do have an older brother, but he would never do that to me. He knows me too well.
I asked if we could do trivia, and I read statistics. That is the entirety of what I did.
My brother knows I hate trivia, Heath.
And stats.
Yeah, you do too. Sell high on Brandon Aiyuk or let it ride.
I mean, if you can sell super high, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a borderline number 2 wide receiver the rest of the season. So if you can get more than that, I would sell.
Would you trade Brandon Aiyuk for DJ Moore?
No.
Mm-mm.
And I just want to be clear that I brought it up before the season started, the weird position of DJ Moore this year and what had happened, and I was not a part of it.
But you were drafting him ahead of Aiyuk, weren't you?
Yes, but like in round 5.
I just if you heard it on the box score today, then I'm sorry for all the repeating. It's a very helpful show for me. A lot of research. I am pretty sure that Jair Alexander was on DJ Moore a lot yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So and Heath, you said was Marshawn Lattimore going to shut down DeAndre Hopkins, and I said I don't really know if Lattimore's a thing anymore. Lattimore was great against Hopkins. He didn't shadow him, but he lined up against him a lot whenever he was on that side of the field. Those were 2 of the corner, and there were 3 actually. Denver, Surtain was shadowing Adams, did a great job. Lattimore was on Hopkins a lot, did a great job. And I think this one I'm not as sure about. Alexander was following Moore, I think, a lot.
I thought Gilmore did a good job too.
I'm sure. I don't know who he faced, but I'm sure he did a great job. Who did he face?
I'm pretty sure he was on Waller a lot of the time.
I don't think he was on Waller.
He batted at least one ball out of Waller's hands.
That was another thing we talked about today. It was actually, to me and Jacob Gibbs anyway, a very encouraging day for Darren Waller.
Yeah.
He had 5 targets in the first half. And then they took him out.
Yeah. But my target per minute play league, he was a top 5 tight end this week.
The hamstring held up.
Here's the problem.
Really dominated targets.
This is my negative view because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Everybody in the league just saw that the plan is rush Daniel Jones and take away Darren Waller. Nobody else can beat you. And Harris, your tackle got hurt, and Evan Neal's actually not good yet. No, so I think it's not a good sign for anybody in the Giants offense. It was a bad night.
It was a bad night. Darren Waller, though, his stats that you see were basically all in a half. Played 5 snaps in the second half. He had 5 targets in a half. And
he's going to have some 6 for 72 with no touchdown games for sure.
That was the worst game of the year for Jones. So until they play the Cowboys again.
Or the Eagles.
And Kareem Hunt or Leonard Fournette. Baltimore apparently is not going to pick them up, so they say.
They already have them. His name is Melvin Gordon.
I'm leaving them on my way to work.
Yeah, I would hold off on that.
Was week 1 the worst tight end week ever? Not exaggerating. It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're not done yet, but last time I think it was 3 or 4 tight ends broke double digits.
You know who the top 3 were?
Hayden Hurst, Hunter Henry.
Yep.
One more H. PPR. The only one that was drafted high.
Hawkinson
was in PPR. He was tight end 3.
Yeah.
Hit that like, friends. I agree. Let's see. My bench is Roshan Johnson. I have Dobbins. All right, how much fab should I spend on Gainwell?
Oh boy.
Probably in that 20 range.
Yeah. I might even go up to 30, honestly. I think the Gainwell is going to stick, and you need that for sure.
So why isn't he? I'm not saying he is, but why isn't Gainwell a 60% of your budget kind of player?
I'm trying to be cautious because I think I'm probably going to be a little bit higher. But I think you could make that argument. It's just that we all, for the past 5 years of college and the NFL and the internet, everyone thought DeAndre Swift was better than Kenneth Gainwell. And so it's kind of hard to accept after 1 week that it's going to be a 10-1 touch split the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So I very much so believe it. I was very in on Kenneth Gainwell, but I don't think that you have to spend that much because I don't think that the mass majority of people believe it. So I think you can spend that little and get him, and it's not a big deal. So I don't think you have to overspend unless you know for sure that someone else in your league is a Kenneth Gainwell truther.
I actually wasn't even aware of this until just now. He has a rib injury. They're playing Thursday. So if they had practice today, he would not have practiced. The Eagles got very banged.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, look,
love this game.
Right, but it's a day after the game. I don't know how serious it is, but they are going to be. I mean, if the Vikings are going to pull off this upset, this is the week. They're not going to have Nakobe Dean, their starting linebacker. He's out. Fletcher Cox got hurt, starting defensive tackle. James Bradbury's in the concussion protocol. It's going to be hard for him to come back. And then I think Gainwell was the only significant offensive injury for
Isn't the game in primetime?
Uh-oh. Cousins, oh boy.
Like just, I think all of those things are canceled out by
no.
the flashing neon lights of Kirk Cousins in primetime.
Gabe Davis, Breece Hall, Lazard, or Damian Harris tonight?
Gabe.
I'm fearful that he's going to get shut down by that Jets secondary. If you need the upside, if you're down big, go Gabe. If not, I might lean towards maybe Lazard.
Oh, wow. My daughter's father. That one is trippy. Christian Kirk worth keeping or get someone on the waiver wire?
I'm going to hold for at least one more week.
Yeah, I would hold on.
Would you trade Jahan Dotson for T. Higgins? Yes.
Would.
Yeah. Should I drop Daniel Jones for Mac Jones?
I would not. I would not do that.
No. Daniel Jones is still the best quarterback with the last name Jones in the NFL currently.
How much fab for Gus Edwards?
I'm not sure I'm going to put any bids in for him.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 or 10. That's not. Yeah.
I think in a non-PPR league, he's pretty appealing. I don't know how you guys feel about that. He has 18 catches in his career, but I don't know. 13 carries a game. Is that realistic? Chance for touchdowns?
I don't think it's not the same offense at all. It's definitely not the same run game. At one point in the third quarter, Lamar Jackson had 0 designed runs, and the running backs averaged like 2 yards per carry in this game. So I just don't. And Gus Edwards hasn't been the same guy for 2 years. So I just don't think if he wins the job, I think it's just not going to be a very good guy to roster.
Yeah. They have 2 offensive line injuries too. Left tackle Ronnie Stanley, center Tyler Linderbaum. Those guys are week to week. So I wouldn't expect 2/5 of their starting offensive line in this week at Cincinnati. Cincinnati. What a setup for a bounce back for them. Let's see. We need 30 tonight. Cook or Hall at running back?
I would go with Cook.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because you get Josh Allen, so you can get that double touchdown if he throws him a screen pass and it goes for 6 or something.
Oh, Cook. I was definitely thinking that was Dalvin Cook.
Oh,
right? Oh, I was too.
Yeah, we got the Cook brothers tonight.
I was too. I thought Dalvin.
I think Breece is your lowest ranked, right?
Yes. James, Dalvin, Breece.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I might, now that I think about it, though, if you're going for 30, if it was Dalvin Cook or Breece Hall, like Breece Hall can still run 22 miles an hour. What if they just get him a straight line to the end zone? I think Dalvin Cook gets a straight line to the end zone. He's going to pick up about 15.
Oh, this is a tough one here. Would you drop Jalen Warren for Puka Nacua or Ronald Acuna? What's Puka Nacua?
I'd lean maybe towards somebody else. I mean, I would drop somebody, but I don't know if I would. It feels too early to bail out on Warren just in case.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. But if I was in a league where I needed to start a wide receiver and Warren is my 5th running back, then I might. But it would have to be an extreme imbalance in my wide receivers versus running backs.
Is Joshua Kelly an anomaly?
I mean, I guess a little bit, but I mean, there's a backup Chargers running back who wasn't terrible, so that was new. But I think if Austin Eckler doesn't play, Josh Kelly's a top 20 running back.
Yeah, I agree with that. And maybe we have an explanation now as to, Eckler's got this injury. If
Right.
That was part of the reason why Kelly had more. So that production's probably an anomaly, but him being able to do it if Eckler's out, not an anomaly.
You think we're going to get 7 half PPR fantasy points from James Cook tonight, Tara? 7?
Yeah.
Heath, over under 7? Half PPR?
Over. Oh, you can tease that one up and it'll still be good.
All right. Well, you and I are up by 7 in the leftovers league, and we're facing James Cook. So
It was so cute the way you drafted Daniel Jones, and it really worked out for us well this week.
pretty sure he outscored Dak Prescott yesterday. It was very, very close, actually.
He might have.
So
A nice non sequitur.
I didn't bring up Daniel Jones. We didn't have to go there. Any interest in Zay Jones?
Yeah, but not a ton. When I look at Zay Jones and Christian Kirk, I mean, they did that last year. They kind of bounced back and forth in terms of which one was getting the more targets, and that could happen again.
Yeah, I'm using all my positive energy on manifesting some Christian Kirk targets this week. I don't have time to be adding Zay Jones to my roster and complicating that. We got to get Christian Kirk going.
Christian Kirk, I didn't realize until this morning, he played 64% of the snaps or something like that. I believe that would have been a season low last year.
I just want to say Dave said that on the podcast last night, but
I forgot.
You were yelling at me. It was so understandable that you forgot.
I'm the loser. Thomas Schaefer pointing out in our private chat that Daniel Jones is 1-11 in primetime games. Thank you very much for that.
Danny Daylight.
Never beaten the Cowboys.
The amazing thing is he also still has a losing record in day games also.
I'm sure he does. Breece Hall or Gabe Davis tonight? Flex.
I would do Gabe.
Yeah, I'll go Gabe too.
Is Kyle Pitts a bum?
No, don't do that. He's a spectacular athlete and he'd be a good pass catcher on a lot of teams.
Any other team.
Quite possibly 31 other teams.
Look at their schedule. They're not going to play a rookie quarterback making his career debut, which I don't know. Did you guys see the stat? When was the last time a rookie first-round pick quarterback won his debut? It's been like 15 straight games or something with that situation they've lost. But they've got, I think, Green Bay. I could look up the schedule, but I know they're going to be run heavy as long as they can. They're not going to be able to throw 18 times a game. But he's still, I'm terrified of him in fantasy. I mean, it's like, I'm almost ready to throw in the towel on Pitts this year. It's just, they're going to be so run heavy.
Also, they won a game that the other team ran 72 plays and they ran 48. So like that's going to balance out a little bit. There might be 3 or 4 more pass attempts in the game normally.
Yeah, there you go. Will Mike Evans get traded or is it Baker SZN?
Yeah,
Neither.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Giants struggled against the Cowboys, not the Bucks, Schaefer. I traded George Kittle.
Struggled against, like, one of these teams lost by 3 points
to the Bucks.
That's struggled against is a little bit of a stretch. That's a fantastic trade, Ramon. Well done.
How did you do that? Holy cow. How did you do that? I read a great email that someone, I'm not sure if you saw it, Heath. Someone sent us an email earlier today where they are a listener of our podcast, but had not listened in a while, randomly turned it on during the off season. And they heard an email from their friend in their league. And their friend asked us I think it was a dynasty league, Calvin Ridley is available in my 10-team dynasty league. How much should I bid? And we answered the question. And this manager used our answer to his advantage to outbid his friend.
Yes.
Not Calvin Ridley talked trash to his friend and only did it, because of the podcast, he was able to outbid his friend for this random episode they listened to. Then he played his friend in week 1 and beat him because of Calvin Ridley and talked more trash. And he sent me screenshots of the text message. It was really awesome. So
that is fantastic. I got an email from a listener today. Also, can I read it?
Fine, just go.
Dear Health, last year hurt with the buy-in I had with DJ Moore. All has been forgiven due to Sunday night's podcast and I had him riled up with Daniel Jones stats. Thanks. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
For the good of the show. Puka Nacua or Drake London rest of season?
London.
Yeah.
I traded Jefferson
Puka
and
week 2.
Yeah. I traded Jefferson and Kirk for Debo and Barkley. Is that a good trade?
I hate to give up Man, I hate to give up Jefferson.
I think it's a C-.
This one again, Dalvin or Gabe flex. Actually, I think we had Brees or Gabe earlier. Sorry.
Maybe Dalvin.
Gabe.
Dear health, LMAO. Keith is on, I don't know what this means. Spider-Man 3 bad guy trajectory. My running backs are Connor, Jamal Williams, and Kamara. Who would you pick up off waivers? Gus Edwards, Kyron Williams, or Zach Moss, and how much fab? Can we, before you answer that, I mean, we're under the assumption that Zach Moss could be back in week 2, but Taylor's going to be back in week 5, right?
Well, but he might not be back on the Colts in week 5. I think they were publicizing the fact that he's healthy and able to play in week 5, maybe to get the trade interest built back up a little bit. But I don't know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would go Kyron Williams here.
Yeah.
For, what did we say? 15%, said Tara.
Maybe 10 for Moss, 5 for Gus.
Yeah.
I think I might be a little more willing to go in on Kyron Williams. That was weird, man. Akers had such a good finish to the season. He had 300-yard games in his last 5, I think. And I would also like to know if they had ran the ball outside at all. I mean, it was almost everything like straight up the middle. It was weird. And their longest run, I think, was 12 yards on 37 carries. So
it seems like there's something in the relationship between Cam Akers and Sean McVay that occasionally Akers just does something and McVay just loses it and benches him for a month or whatever. I mean, he's got a little bit of a short fuse.
Zay Flowers or Jahan Dotson rest of season?
I will say Zay.
I'll say Dotson.
I would like to have both a lot, but I'm going to say Dotson.
I don't mean, how much did the Mark Andrews absence help Zay Flowers? Question worth asking, but boy, he looked the part.
Yeah, I do think like it's a significantly different offense because in the past when Mark Andrews was gone, other tight ends got a bunch of targets. And this time Mark Andrews was gone and they didn't.
It's a really good point.
Half PPR, would you drop McKinnon for Gainwell or Kyron? Yes.
Yeah.
Probably drop Najee too. No, just kidding. No. Just kidding.
I would not.
When are you going to feel comfortable? Don't drop Najee, but just.
This is a good question.
When are you going to feel comfortable starting him? Okay, we can do this one instead. 1 year wonder.
You start him as a flex still.
Yeah.
This week against Cleveland, flex him up. That's had me shook a little bit the last 24 hours. That question, because I'm usually pretty skeptical of guys in their 30s who come in and have a career year and just play completely over their head. But he was so legitimately good last year that I just went with it. And I'm not ranking him as a starter this week.
Yeah. What happened in this game was, first of all, their line was terrible. The Rams had, I think, the 6th highest pressure rate in week 1 going into Monday Night Football. The Rams, Jacob Gibbs outlined this morning or this afternoon on Beyond the Box Score. The Rams played 2 deep safety. They played cover 4 and I think cover 6, he said, which is designed to take away the deep ball. And that's what they did so well last year. He was an incredible deep ball thrower. And everything was really short. His ADOT, or the ADOT for the team, was very low yesterday. So they took that away. They had the ball for less than 21 minutes. Their third downs were terrible. They could not convert. They couldn't stay on the field. But I am interested in this adjustment here of trying to take away the deep ball and how it affects Geno Smith. And also, they lost both of their starting offensive tackles in this game.
Right.
Fairly late in the game. They both played over 80% of the snaps. But that does not bode well if they miss any time. What do you think, Tara? 1 year wonder?
Yeah, they might have figured something out. Now, granted, it's Pete Carroll, so if they figure something out, he can figure something out too, make some adjustments. So, but yeah, I think Geno is someone that you're not really looking at as a top 12 in the near future.
Kyron Williams or Josh Kelly as a waiver wire pickup rest of season?
Rest of season, Kyron Williams, but depending on what happens with Eckler.
Yeah, I'll still say Kyron.
If you tapping on your desk?
No, Adam.
I actually have been wondering this. Was last night's Cowboys DST the most fantasy points for a DST in history? I can't recall anything like it, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I don't know. I don't know how to look that up, but I'm very curious.
I'm gonna
Please
look
that
that
up. Would you
Been a
drop?
wonderful run.
Yes, you drop Jonathan Mingo for Puka. Absolutely.
Yes.
We should talk about which wide receivers you drop for him. Okay, we talked about the Chiefs guys. Yes, Sky Moore. You guys were kind of split on Kadarius Toney.
Wait, I'm sorry. The Cleveland Browns are credited with the highest number of fantasy points scored by a defense in a single game, with a whopping 50 fantasy points against the Giants on September 10th. September 10th, which was yesterday.
Wow.
1989.
Wow, that was a tough one for me. 5-year-old Adam is throwing a fit.
Beware September 10th.
No kidding. But I'm thinking of like wide receivers. I would definitely drop Adam. I'm thinking I have Adam Thielen in a league. I'd drop him. What about Juju? I mean, Juju played less than 60% of the snaps, I think.
Yep.
Get rid of him.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'd rather have Nakua than Kendrick Bourne, I assume.
I'm finished with this guy.
Finish with this guy. How about Brandon Cooks for Puka Nakua?
I would, because I fear that what we saw, now granted the matchup, no offense, Adam, but I fear that what we saw is going to repeat a lot in terms of them not having to pass for high volume. I think some people might have overestimated just how much they would have to throw.
Drop Deontay Johnson? No. Don't know his injury status, though. Adam is still 5 at heart. Is that a compliment? Like being young at heart is good. Being 5 years old at heart, I don't think is better.
I think that was a typo. It was supposed to be 5 at height.
God, Spider-Man 3, whatever that means. Who, if Eckler misses time, who's worth adding? Josh Kelly.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is actually a pretty good question. Historically better team, the Giants or the Chiefs? Very good question.
Current, like now counts as part of that, and
Yeah,
last
everything.
year and the year before that, and
Everything, yeah. I mean, if you want to do just Super Bowl era, then it's very close. If you want to go before Super Bowl era, then it's not close. But I mean, well, the Chiefs were in the AFL, right?
yeah, they were I think the Dallas Texans.
Okay. I would say, boy, that is tough. Who's got more Super Bowls? Giants have 4.
The Chiefs only have 3.
I'd have to say the Giants.
Yeah, if it is, like, it's pretty clear what direction we're heading, and we know the answer will be in 3 or 4 years.
Judy, who would you drop, Judy or Juju?
Juju.
Juju, for sure.
Freiermuth, Kincaid, or Laporta? We have to answer that right now. Can we wait? Can we wait 3 hours?
Yeah.
No, I'd drop Laporta though. And who would you pick up? Gainwell, Algier. Yes, Algier's going to be out there in some leagues. Puka, Collins, yeah. Is Algier ahead of Gainwell?
No.
I would still do Gainwell.
I guess the only thing is if Bijan gets hurt, I hate to even say that out loud. Algier is going to be better than Gainwell.
Yeah.
Feel confident in that. What else we got here, folks? Hit the like button. That'd be cool. This is a good question. Anthony Richardson or hot garbage rest of season? We'll see. We'll see what happens this week. Tough matchup. Kyron or Breece Hall rest of season? Eric, don't be silly. Breece Hall. That's Breece Hall on the waiver wire. Oh, here's it. Should I drop Marquise Brown for Tyler Algier? And I'll add on, should you drop Marquise Brown for Puka Nacua?
I'm still holding Marquise Brown.
Yes, I'm holding Marquise Brown. And I have to correct myself because the first site I looked at, it looks like it was wrong. They were actually playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they had 3 defensive touchdowns, 8 takeaways, and 6 sacks, and they only gave up 53 yards of total offense.
So where
There
do the
was
Cowboys,
no weather. 73 degrees, no wind.
where do the Cowboys rank?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Let's ask one more question here. Should I trade Dallas Goedert, who Nick Sirianni vowed that's not happening again? One target for him. Should I trade Dallas Goedert, and for who?
This doesn't seem like the right time to do that.
I mean, who are you really going to upgrade to at tight end?
Hunter Henry. No. And again, sorry to repeat everything I said earlier this afternoon. I'm probably going to say it again on Tuesday's podcast. The Eagles only had 3 games last year where Goddard, Brown, and Smith all had 50 or more yards. That was week 2 against the horrible Vikings. Sorry, Schaefer. Week, I believe, 16 against the Cowboys with Gardner Minshew, and the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. In all 3 of those games, their quarterback threw for more than 300 yards, but only 3. So this is going to happen. There will be a terrible week for A.J. Brown. There'll be a terrible week for Devontae Smith. You're hoping that at the end of the year, they all live up to where you drafted them. In fact, remember, week 1, Devontae Smith did not have a catch last year. All right, we are out of here, folks. Thank you, Tara, for coming on. Appreciate it. I'm sorry you had to see that side of me from last night.
I've been there.
And Heath, you'll see that side of me probably next week. So,
On Wednesday.
take care, everybody. Have a good one. Good luck tonight. Get yourself a win. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning with the waiver wire. Our show's going to be a little bit late tomorrow, about 9:15 a.m. Eastern. See